private nightclubs here where you can go out at night and the hoity-toity, upper 1% of the Burkinabe go hang out and they party. So it's not like, there are some actually really nice French restaurants here, which is really weird. And they just ship the food in.
Well, why would that be weird? It's Francophile, so
yeah.
It would be weird if they had. It would be weird if they had Thai restaurants. It would be weird if they had Malaysian food.
Yeah.
French? Come on, they were the colonizers.
No, that's true. No, that you're absolutely right about. But the reason why I'm saying it's unusual in some of the countries that are least developed, that are under a lot of, like in Sudan or Somalia or Congo, the major cities really don't have. It's not regular, because even our embassies in those cities are really secured and shut down. And for instance, the Bamako, which is the capital of Mali. It's actually not as nice as Ouagadougou. It's really sort of a military town.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot of what happens.
Resources. You got to think about how long these foreign entities have been coming to the country and extracting, and what have they been extracting? So that whole wealth reservoir accumulates, and then you have rich people, even in El Salvador, where there's gangs. I went out to nightclubs surrounded by people providing private security shotguns, and that's the proliferation of wealth, I think, is what you're really describing.
Yeah, no, I am. The thing is that there is a historical structure of upper class here in Burkina that hasn't been as affected, by the colonial and post-colonial time. It's not that many. We're talking about a few thousand people out of a population of 22 million.
That's why it's called the upper crust, Ben.
But they're here, and they have a society, and a lot of them are in government, and that's the way it is in all the countries. But some of the other countries, it's not quite as normalized as it is here. There's a lot of commerce that goes on. There's a lot of entrepreneurial stuff, but it's at a very, basic level. So, this, you got to remember something. Only 40% of the streets in the biggest city are paved. 60% are unpaved. I think the last thing I heard was the literacy rate here is 57%. So this is truly a very undeveloped country. Most people live in their traditional villages. Most people live on subsistence farming. It's a real dichotomy here. So, anyway, Marshall's in the room. Hey, Marshall. How are you doing? Do you have any interesting historical things you want to, bring up and share?
Let's see. Today, in 2015, Obergefell v. Hodges decided. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. I'm not hearing you. It could be me.
No, I'm not. I'm not hearing you, Marshall.
Can you hear me any better now?
Yeah.
Oh, much better.
Yes. I would love to hear from Perusian after that.
Yeah.
It was my Bluetooth. Today in 2015, Obergefell v. Hodges was decided that allowed same-sex unions. In 2013, United States v. Windsor, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a provision in the Defense of Marriage Act that defined marriage for federal purposes. Let's see.
That was a big deal.
Today in 1997, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, also called the Sorcerer's Stone, was first published.
Are you looking that up in your almanac, Marshall?
No,
Chat GPT.
No, Encyclopedia Britannica. It's got this big history.
I love it.
And I love to look at it. Today, in 1963, during the U.S. Cold War, President John F. Kennedy delivered his famous "Ich bin ein Berliner" speech. Let's see, anything else?
So American.
Today, in 1483, Richard Plantagenet, Duke of Gloucester, began his reign as Richard III after usurping power from his nephew, Edward V.
There you go.
And today, in 1819, finally, the U.S. Army officer Abner Doubleday, once thought to be the inventor of baseball in 1907, finding later discredited by evidence connection he was born today. So interesting. Oh, also, American motion picture actor Peter Lorre from such films as Casablanca and The Maltese Falcon first achieved international fame as the psychotic child murderer in the German classic film. Was born in Rosenberg. I can't say it correctly. Rosen something or other Hungary. I can't pronounce the last part of it. But there are some random historical facts for you.
Love it. You know what? That is so wonderful, Marshall. You know what? We should do this. Whenever you come in, you just take a look at the day of the week and day of the year and find us historical facts. That's great. I love that. Thank you. All right. Yeah, let's go to Persian. You know, there's been just a lot of chatter about what's going on in Iran and between Iran, Israel, the United States. A lot of really stupid argument about how much, you know, it's sort of like big dick swinging about how much damage the United States attack did, which is, you know, it really is quite irrelevant. The fact of the matter is Trump could have said, hey, look, we've been threatening to bomb your nuclear, your nuclear facilities. All presidents have been threatening this for years, and we finally did it. We caused damage, and if you don't do it again, we'll come back again. That's all he had to say. That's all he had to say, and that would have been fine as long as he doesn't do anything more. But no, he has to make a big deal because he's a big baby to say, oh no, we got rid of everything. It's all done. He just can't help from lying.
Well,
but anyway.
Let's talk about the Iranians because
exactly. I want to find out, what Persian has been thinking, how the Iranians have been, what their attitudes have been in terms of supporting the current government or whether they see this as an opportunity.
Nope. Can I just tell you that yesterday I heard Zateo on Substack had two Iranian experts on. One runs something called the Iran podcast, and then that is another one that's a NGO person. They basically said that this invasion and this bombing had forced the people back behind the regime, and that whereas people used to complain about the regime and want their freedom, they are now backing it because they have patriotism. They love their country. They have a sense of their country being a country for 2,200 years, I think they said, not like any of the other Middle Eastern countries or Arab states. And they feel that their country has much more to offer, and that when the United States comes in and thinks that it needs help, all they do is scare the shit out of the people and throw them behind the regime.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Just a real quick housekeeping thing. We still have that asshole John Kitover doing the recording, so I just want we want to ignore him, but I also feel it's fair that everybody needs to be aware that he's recording in the room. He has the two anonymous things in the audience. I'm gonna find his profile and YouTube profile, so everybody, if you see it and it bothers you, we have a campaign to get him kicked out of Clubhouse and also to get him kicked out of YouTube. So, we'll continue to do that. We're finding more and more. I've been getting a lot of back information about him personally, where he lives, his phone number. We have a lot of information about him. We're contacting the Illinois Republican Party, and also I've been in contact with some of the people he's running against to get out this information. We got to stop this. He's a real pain in the ass. Anyway, I don't want to give him any more time. But if anybody does have more personal information about him, let's get it out there and start spreading it. We're going to get this guy doxed and out of here. All right. Enough.
You heard it.
Where were we? We were going, prison. It's your turn.
My dear. Hello, my dear Ben, dear Dr. Francine, dear Barbara, David, Marshall, Rick, all the listeners. Nice to be again with you. And I want to start, if you like, because I think that you're interested to hear that. Maybe 2 or 3 days after the ceasefire between Iran and Israel, we are, of course, as you have heard, listening or hearing different narratives. One narrative says that these attacks weren't effective enough, that
you like that, Doc? You hear that, Doc? Team John, baby. Team John, who?
And we have the narrative of
It's the only way I know how to do it, Doc.
States and his defense minister, who believes that this nuclear program is finished, is eliminated, so whatsoever. I think with the second exception, the Iranian government is more happy. But to be honest with you, I think the first acceptation is the right, or the first narrative is the more near to or closer to the truth, because I think that they have still the knowledge and they have still the capacity to surprise us. But not wanting to speculate, I want to say something else. From the beginning, also in other years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, all the experts were or a lot of experts were saying that an attack on this vast and diversified nuclear program is risky, because once you hit them, you have to hit them really good, or you should think about attacking them each couple of months again and again and again and again. Something I don't think that it's in interest of United States or in interest of Israel even, and it deepens the enemyship. That was why I was in favor of a kind of dialogue and finding out finding to a peace, or some kind of stop of the Iranian nuclear program by diplomacy. I also know that this was also risky, because the government is also. The Iranian government, you cannot also believe the words, all words that they are speaking. One government wants this, the next one wants something else. So I know that this wasn't a simple decision for Israel to do, but now I have an eye on the Iranian people. I see that one attack on Iran has happened. People who were originally, most of them, I think the absolute majority of them, wanted to experience change and going the path through democracy and
opening the society to the Western country, to the Western culture, so all the things that we are talking about during the last couple of years. But now we have a situation, a government, a dictatorship is hurt. It's like a bear